From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we get to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. The biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. It's the fourth stimulus recon. And the chief of staff to the president spoke out about it. I'll have his comments as well. Then we cut into the world exclusive as number one guy in D.C. for your recon says he wants you to have monthly stimulus checks. Yes, and those numbers are incredible. I'll go over all his calculations and more. And then you're going to meet one viewer who went from $80,000 in 1 week under third stimulus for another $80,000 for himself and bringing the grand total to $100,000 for other people as well. It's a big, bold, beautiful day. It's a big afternoon. The surf is up. I'm here. You're here. Let's get to the deliciousness starting right here, right now on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me on a big, bold, beautiful Afternoons LA, direct from Santa Monica. The weather is gorgeous along the coast, but a little bit too muggy. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is where you are. So much breaking news, so much new developments today, and so many world exclusives you're going to hear only on this channel. We'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats want you to have more months of checks. Then we get to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. And in fact, the chief of staff to the President of the United States said the same thing less than a few hours ago. I'll have all the details about that and more. Then we cut to the recon, and the number one guy in D.C. wants you to have MSCs. I'll go over the calculations of his MSCs, his monthly stimulus checks, and why it's deliciousness. And then you're going to realize how there's fortunes for you to get right now from third stimulus. As one viewer went from $80,000 from himself to another $100,000 for other people in just a few days. It's all incredible great news. It's a lot of money, and I'm going to get you in this money in this recording. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. If you're new to finding this channel, let me tell you what we're going over in this video. We're going over the big money that is proposed under fourth stimulus, all application-based, meaning you have to pick up the phone and get it. Lots of checks and lots of money. Number two, the incredible world exclusive you're only going to hear on this channel as the number one guy in D.C. for your monthly stimulus checks tells this channel that he wants to give you a monthly stimulus check. Only you're going to hear it on this channel. It's a world exclusive. Then we're going to go over the big reality check, which is there is no money landing in your bank account today from fourth stimulus. But there is for third stimulus. As one viewer and countless viewers are getting tens of thousands of dollars daily, hourly from this channel, I'm going to show you how to end this day with a lot of money in your hand. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube. Reckon I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video too. 3,000 likes. Every like helps. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. If you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, please do so. It's totally free. It's on the channel. It's at news.la.com/alerts. You put your name and email address in there, and then you watch for that confirmation email, and you're ready to rock and roll. Those LA alerts send you alert whenever there's a new video on this channel or any other breaking news. You can get those alerts on the road or at home. Let's cut to those monthly stimulus checks. Senate versus House, House versus Senate, and who wants to pay what. Slightly different and slightly different calculations. Senate, Warren, Sanders, Wyden, calling for monthly, but not saying the number of months nor the amount in their letter. AOC and Omar, $2,000 monthly, but not saying the number of months. Then House Ways and Means, monthly, but not saying the number of months or the amount. Americans, them viewers of this channel and countless others, 4 million of them, calling for $2,000 monthly, but not saying the number of months. And of course, the one that has captivated a country has been that House bill, Pandemic Plus 1 year, which is $2,000 a month $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000, which would amount to about $13,000. I think you have an opinion. Vote House or Senate. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is where you are. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that if you got a third, you get a fourth. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Double it, $150,000 or less. Family of four, Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check is the same amount for everyone, including adult dependents. Finally, the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you were at the beach this weekend, the check ran up to you, started waving, that was the German check. And if it kissed you on two cheeks, that was the Italian check. In the second half of this recording, we'll go over that fourth stimulus recon. But in the third part of this video, we'll be cutting into the world exclusive you're only here on this channel. The legislator, the number one guy on DC, wants to have you have a monthly stimulus check. You're only going to hear this on this channel, so don't ask me why I haven't heard it anywhere else, because this is a world exclusive. It's only here at LALATE, and this is why you found this channel. The other reason you may have found this channel is because people are getting big sums of money, so get that pen and paper ready right now. We're going to get big sums of money. Reality check. 4 stimulus checks are not landing in your bank account this week. They're not landing in your bank account last week. But other sums of money are landing potentially in your bank account if you do the effort, and it's this week, it's today. And it's a fortune. It's upwards of $100,000. It is third stimulus. Yeah, you may have heard of third stimulus as a third stimulus check, but did you know there's upwards of $100,000 additional in there for you to get? So get that pen and paper ready right now. I'm going to get you some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. We're going to start with our inspiration story, which is Johnny. Johnny, 2 weeks ago on this channel, was one of 3 viewers who started the week at $0. He needed money. Fourth stimulus is not coming. By Wednesday, he was one of 3 viewers who was at $40,000 that they had gotten because of watching the videos of this channel, becoming a member and subscribing. $40,000. He didn't stop there. He had gotten 3 items. By the weekend, he got 7 items, bringing his grand total to $80,000. Yes, Johnny got $80,000 from this channel in 5 days. You heard me right. And you can as well. Let's go over all the incredible sums of money. Johnny got $12,000 for SNAP. He got $10,000 for EIDL. He got $2,000 for taxes. He got $21,000 for rent in one place and another $25,000 in another place. And they got $9,000 for utilities plus $50 a month for internet and power. The following week, which was last week, Johnny spoke to his family members about the incredible success story he had from this channel, getting $80,000. And he said they should get the money as well. They said, what money? Fourth stimulus? He said, no, third stimulus. They said, I got the third stimulus check. There's no other money. Yeah, there is. I just got $80,000 of it. He reveals to us in his update that his own family members were in disbelief that the money actually existed still under third stimulus. They had only heard of a third stimulus check because they had watched news reports elsewhere that were inaccurate, incomplete, and simply just wrong. And Johnny says, like you've been reporting, I've been talking about you to my friends and family. And as of today, I have helped 5 friends save their homes. Wow. And put food on their table. And 3 family members thought I was full of it. Wow. So his own family members didn't believe him that this money was actually there. He had to convince them to pick up the phone. They were saying, well, third stimulus check just automatically comes in my bank account. Why do I have to pick up the phone? Because this money is available, mom, family member. This money is available there. Pick up the phone and get it. He had to convince them. And he did convince them. They got SNAP, and because it was a SNAP, and oh my God, they got it right away. 2 family members got $41,500, and the other one got $57,600. This has been awesome to see other people stop stressing about bills. Your channel has helped so many others, and tremendously, you're such a godsend. There you go. Johnny had gotten $80,000 and then within 5 days, and then turned around and the next 5 days got 2 other family members $100,000 from this channel. It's your day to get this money as well. Get a pen and paper ready. We get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance at homeowners, utilities. If I'm talking too fast, you can always replay this video. The toggle screen is underneath the video. We're going to start with the rent. Rent viewers are getting over $20,000 from this channel. They're getting an enormous amount of rent. The average payout is far in excess of $20,000. Let's look at the graphic for the rent that viewers are getting from this channel. Daily, hourly, incredible across the board. Purple Hawks, Purple Powers, or Casino VIPs. Oh my goodness. There is Mark. We're going to come back to Mark in a second, but let's look at the rent. Oh my goodness, look at that. $27,000 for rent. Mark getting $25,000 for rent. Then there's Nancy at $24,000. Richard. You just saw Johnny. He got $9,000 of utilities. Yeah, the numbers are going higher. The more that viewers watch this channel, the more that the subscriber growth grows, the more that there are more Purple Hawks, people are getting more sophisticated and more knowledgeable and more skilled to get these sums of money. Let's look at the next graphic. Snap. Yes, this is annualized, $18,000. Great job, Louis. John, $10,000, and you're going to meet someone in a second who got $25,000. And then let's look at this. 3 items. Nancy, $32,000. Rent, utilities, and Snap. Nisi, 3 items at $23,000. And there's Mark at 2 items at $32,000. Mark is our second inspirational story. He has 2 updates. I'm going to give you the one today. Then later this week, I'm going to give you the second update. So Mark got 2 items at $32,000, but for 5 days on camera, I told Mark, go get Snap, because guess what? Just as Johnny said, it's a Snap. Number 1, within 5 days, Mark got that Snap. Number 2, Mark realized I'm not going to stop at 3 items. I'm going to get more items, like Johnny got 7 items. Number 3, Mark started telling other people about the money. You just saw how Johnny told his family members about this money. And within 5 days, his family members got $100,000. Mark told his neighbor, and within 5 days, the neighbor got $21,000 of rent. Chanan, a Purple Hawk of 2 months, member. If you've not become a member, the link is under the video. Reveals a week ago that she told her friend and to watch this channel, and she now says her friend is addicted to the channel. The friend, of course, got $21,000 in less than 5 days. And finally, Mark got that Snap. How much do you think Mark got a Snap? He got $19,000 annualized for Snap, bringing Mark's grand total on this channel to $50,500. But the sky is the limit on this channel, because while Mark got $50,500, let me introduce you to Lorraine, who got over $105,000, because this is what we do. This is LALATE. I know it seems like a lot. You just sort of think to yourself, wait a second, I was just looking for a 4th stimulus check when it's going to land in my bank account. And then now I'm learning about all this money that's under 3rd stimulus that already passed. I didn't know this. Let me tell you what I cover on this channel. There is breaking financial news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on this channel. No one else is recording 24 hours a day. The financial channels aren't. Only me. Number 2, there's world exclusives on this channel, like the world exclusive about the monthly stimulus check and the 4th stimulus package. That's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. And then there's this, getting people money. Lots of it. I've been doing it since day 1. I launched this channel on April 25th because people had applied for that EIDL loan and EIDL grant, and their applications were not approved. So one after another, I applied. I showed them how to get their applications out of stalled mode into approval mode. They were stuck in the 331, the 340, the 330, the 331, the 484 tax. Bombshell, one after another, I got them approved, getting $25 million of EIDL loans approved. I got people PUA money 3 days later, as it was a very confusing application. No one had ever seen it before. It had just gone live. And I got fortunes for viewers for that PUA, going through that application process. And then in fall of 2020, people needed money because 4th stimulus checks were not coming. Excuse me, 2nd stimulus checks were not coming. So I got them $250,000 for rent and utilities. Like Tyrone and his family of 4 out of Boston, $15,000 from rent to December to the spring. And now we're doing it bigger and bolder than ever before, because guess what? There is no 4th stimulus check to land in your bank account this week. And you need money. You need money. This money, 3rd stimulus, is there. Have you gotten it? If you haven't, get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you all the different items for you to get, and there's lots of them. If you haven't gotten over 3 items, then you need to get the rest of them, starting right now. Here are some introductory remarks. Number 1, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. If one says no, reach out to the other ones. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Number 2, the keywords I'm going to say in the video really help get people approved. So listen to those keywords. Number 3, every state has the same amount of money given to them based upon the number of residents from the federal government. So keep on pushing. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, and your state housing authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID, or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. That's all you do. You can do this. I'm sure you can. As Johnny had to convince his family members to pick up the phone, he convinced them, and they got $100,000. You need to pick up the phone as well. And if you got this money for rent and utilities, post it in the live chat right now. Let's turn to now some SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them, Department of Agriculture. It pays a lot of money. It is money for food. And how much does it pay? Well, you saw Mark. He's getting $19,000 annualized up to just a few days ago. What happened? Federal government has announced a ramp up of SNAP. So starting in October, everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime nationwide automatically. Wow, incredible, great news. So Mark will be looking at $25,000 approximately starting in October annualized. Wonderful. If you got this money for SNAP, post in the live chat right now. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. The next part of the money is the money for coming back from your state due to overpayment of computer error of unemployment benefits. One viewer got $3,000, another viewer got $5,000. Federal government has ordered the states to return this money back to you. It's your money. It's coming by direct deposit. Finally, the third part of the money is the refund check coming back from IRS. This is the check where where you paid taxes on the 2020 unemployment benefits. Well, the IRS is returning that portion that you paid on the IRS on the unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Todd got it, Michael got it. The average payment is anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. It's coming by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. More about that in a second. But here's a personal message from me to you. This channel is launched for me to help you get money. And it's also launched for me to help you and inform you and help you learn about all these details. If you're in the live chat, post your success stories for rented utilities you've gotten from this channel, because when you do, you inspire other people, you help people. The spirit of this channel is helping people. And if someone sees in the live chat all these people posting success stories, they realize, I need to pick up the phone. Just like Johnny's family members, pick up the phone. Come on now already, pick up the phone. But it doesn't just automatically come to me. Pick up the phone and get the money. They picked up the phone and they got $100,000. Imagine how it changed their life. Just pick up the phone. Post your success stories in the live chat. Second, people are realizing these are a lot of money. This is not a few $100s here and there. This is a fortune. $50, $40, $80, $100,000. Very common numbers on this channel. Every day, day in, day out. Third, there's a lot of money to get, a lot of items. So it's not a one item. We were getting 3 items, now we're going to 7 items. And we could potentially be going to more items as well. So get as many items as you can. And there you go. Let's go back to those unemployment benefits. Direct deposit otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, go to irs.gov, do a transcript search. And 70% of the time it'll work. It'll reveal the refund check you're getting and the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. And then it'll reveal stuff you wish you had never seen. Like Mitch McConnell's dance moves from Star Search. Yeah, I don't want to see that. There we go. Can we top that? We can. As we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. A $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal. In fact, my reporting was confirmed by Ron Klain. Who is he? He's the number one person in the Biden administration. He's the chief of staff, and he confirmed, in fact, word by word, my statements over the weekend. He appeared on broadcast meeting and said, we already did the recon. It's been passed procedurally. He called it the framework instead of the word procedurally. He says all we're doing now is the terms and conditions. Incredible, great news. A recon has been passed, meaning that there will be a recon. It will be $3.5 trillion. Biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. A behemoth. And all for the American people, while the previous stimulus packages were virtually all for corporations. And it'll have all checks for the American people, but mostly application-based, meaning you have to pick up the phone and call. More about that in the final 15 minutes. I'll be going over that then as well. How do we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot by taking roads and bridges out of the recon and putting it into the bipartisan, and now both items are both passable. A conservative publication confirms my reporting. It says that the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon and putting it in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Now, it's important to understand how Democrats legislate with other Democrats. Recon is only Democrats. They only need a single Republican vote. And so the way that Democrats legislate with Democrats is they go to their office and say, hey, what do you think about this? Let's go to coffee and have some talk about this. Let's go to lunch and talk about how we're going to do this bill. And they talk about something, and then they come to a verbal agreement. Once they have a verbal agreement, they say, okay, let's go write it up. Let's go write it up and put it down to pen and paper. And then once they put it down to pen and paper, it just confirms what they verbally agreed upon. And then when they call for a vote, it just confirms what they already agreed upon. That's why this channel delivers breaking news, not when it happens, but months in advance. In the month of June and July, I told you that the recon procedure was going to pass 2 months before it happened, because that's what they did. They went to their offices, they agreed upon doing a recon. They told the press, we've informally agreed upon a recon, so we're doing one. That's $3.5 trillion. So that when the vote happened in August, people were wondering, is it going to pass? I said, of course it's going to pass. They already verbally agreed upon it. It was done deal. And it was. Done deal, signed, sealed. Now, when we talk about recon substantive, same thing is happening. All last week, and all this week, the Democrats confirm whether it's Ron Wyden, Ron Klain, Chuck Schumer, or Bernie Sanders, that they're meeting hour after hour all last week, all last weekend, going over verbally the terms and conditions for the recon substantive. So that it's important to understand that this is the time to push purple power. It's not the time to wait for the bill. When are we going to see the bill? No. That's like asking when is the coffin closed. You want to go to with the issue right now. When it's reduced to a bill format and called for a vote, it's a done deal. They're indicating already. They're doing all the front loading, all the agreements now when they verbally negotiate. Let's go over recon versus bipartisan, which is very, very important to keep the two items separate. They're very different items across the board, and let's go over how they work. Recon is your money. Bipartisan is not your money. So recon is also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag $3.5 trillion, also called the Democratic spending plan or the Progressive Social Reform Plan. Bipartisan, not your money. Infrastructure, also called roads and bridges. 2 weeks ago, we had recon procedural to do. It was passed. The tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to pick up the tow hitch, the recon substantive. Let's go over what the difference is between recon procedural and recon substantive. You're going to see a key word I want you to watch, because we're going to come back to this word in the third part of this video, the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay with me to the very end. That word is committees. Recon procedural agreed that there will be a recon $3.5 trillion, and that will be split among committees. $10 here, $20 there. Recon substantive now is going over the issue of, now that a committee has the money, how is it going to spend the money? This is the substantive part. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalopal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying Chuck called the vote on the recon, and the letter and the amount was agreed upon, and the latter was agreed upon. It's important to understand that the Democrats had negotiated for a big and bold amount of a recon price tag. That's why Ilhan Omar and Representative Richie Torres had said, we need a big enough recon. We need a larger recon. They got it, $3.5 trillion. And that's why the president had told the Democrats before voting on the recon procedural to protect my recon, because everything in that is checks for the American people, progressive checks. That's what Representative Jalopal and Schwartz had told us. So how do we get to this wonderful spot? By Jalopal telling Chuck to call the vote on the recon. And it did, and it passed, recon procedural. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Wow. Now understand, can we top that? We can. 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee recently wrote the president a letter saying they're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Let's make it very clear. Every Democrat practically is talking about stimulus checks in this forced stimulus recon. Every Democrat. Who wants you to think otherwise? Republicans, GOP, conservatives, conservative media wants you to think no one's talking about stimulus check. Yeah, they are, just you are. It's just sort of like that. I'm being very blunt about it. Every Democrat's talking about stimulus check. The only people not talking about it are Republicans who want you to think that no one's talking about it. It's like talk it into non-existence by suggesting it doesn't exist. No, they're all talking about it. So we need to push purple power. Let's go over who's talking about it, because it's virtually everyone. We just saw the House bill signed by hundreds of Democrats calling for a monthly stimulus check. We also saw the Jalopal letter signed by countless people. Let's look at everyone else. We have the House Ways and Means Committee, which is the people who write the forced stimulus recon calling for a monthly stimulus check. We have the House bill signed by hundreds of Democrats calling for a monthly stimulus check. We have Warren, Wyden, and Sanders calling for a monthly stimulus check. And then we have AOC and Omar calling for a monthly stimulus check as well. And of course, we have the American petition calling for that as well. Can we top that? Yes. As Ron Klain over the weekend as well said that the recon's going to be an easy sell because it does not raise the national debt. The recon is paid for by corporate taxes. And that's why at this point of this video, I usually talk about that confusing thing that's not in there. It's called the global corporate tax rate. Why is it confusing? Because it's corporate taxes, and that's just confusing. No reason to cover it on this channel. The forced stimulus recon is paid for by corporations who are making $1 billion a year and paying $0 in taxes. The U.S. government is changing the tax code so that those corporations would pay their fair share of taxes and pay for the forced stimulus recon. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, we go over the number one guy on Capitol Hill for MSC, monthly stimulus checks, wants you to have it. And he tells his channel exclusively the details. You're only going to hear it on this channel. Then we cut to fifth stimulus as well. But here's a personal message from me to you. And I'm going to make it a little bit more contrite than usual. If you haven't gotten one item from this channel over the last year, please do. Today's your day. Get that rent, utilities, mortgage, phone the utility company. It's mortgage assistance because of COVID, utility assistance because of COVID, or rent assistance because of COVID. Your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Get at least one item yourself. Categorically, emphatically, I'm very, very firm in telling you this. Do not just say, I'm going to reach out to the community page and have them do everything for me. You are going to not be in a good position under forced stimulus if you do that. Why? Because forced stimulus is about picking up the phone. If you can pick up the phone and call that there's a gas leak, if you can pick up the phone and call there's a water main leak in the neighborhood, if you can call up the phone and say, hey, I'm having bad telephone reception, then you can certainly pick up the phone and talk to the same people and say, I need phone assistance because of COVID. I need utility assistance because of COVID. If you can do that and pick up the phone and at least do that, then you're ready to kill it under forced stimulus. But if you're saying something like, I'm just going to reach out to the volunteer and just have them do everything for me, that's not the purpose of the volunteers. The volunteers are there to help you when you've made the effort to try to get the money. Because guess what? Forced stimulus is all about the effort. There's a lot of checks, and so excited. It's coming up in the third part of this video. So get one item, and then if you can't get the other sums of money, reach out to the volunteers. Here's a little bit about them, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as we continue this big Afternoons LA broadcast. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE with incredible details about your forced stimulus check update of 2021. In the second half of this video, we'll go over the world exclusive as this number one guy in DC wants you to have a monthly stimulus check. We'll go over all the calculations and the details at issue. We'll be cutting to fifth stimulus as well, and the big lift of your benefits if you're on SSI and SSDI. We'll check back in with our cast of characters. We've not seen them yet so far in this video. We met them over the weekend, and they all are tracking time. Those details and more coming up in the second half of this video, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000 to 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto, then Evening's LA, then Street and Stimulus, then Sirloin at 8 o'clock. Then at nighttime is Overnight's LA, and then Purple at 11:30. Thank you for joining me on our new hit show that debuted this morning. It's called Morning's Countdown LALATE. It appears before Morning's LA, but after Early Morning's LA. It's a throwback show, and it's a perfect example of what you need to start the new day. Easy breezy and lots of information. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, you need to do so. It's at news.la.com. It sends you an alert when breaking news happens or when a new video goes live. You can't miss a video. It's news.la.com. It's in the link and description of this video. Put your name and email address in, watch for the confirmation email. It may be in the spam folder, and you're ready to rock and roll. Let's cut to that fifth stimulus starting right now. The President of the United States pushed for it, and now the Democrats are pushing for it as well. September, this is when they do it. And they get this to a vote by about November. Step one, they raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark's inflation. They remove the asset cap, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. How does this work? Let's go briefly over it, starting right now. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they're going to move the asset cap. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. That's inflation. Where's inflation going? It's going to be transitory. How high? I'm saying it's going to be about 5%. Brazil's inflation rate is looking at about 5% this week. Yeah, not that we're Brazil, but it's a world concern. And the Central Bank of Europe is meeting this week to talk about tapering. The Federal Reserve also spoke about tapering last week as well. So let's do 5% as part of our analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up, then they'll apply a new benchmark. If it's 5%, your benefits will go up another 5%, not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Then they'll remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest like Rob and Sandy. And finally, will there be a fifth stimulus check? There will be a fifth stimulus check. That fifth stimulus check will be deliciousness, and that will be coming next year. Finally, if you haven't become a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? The link is under the video where it says join here. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Calcino VIP, and get delivered to you daily from the YouTube community page and the LA alerts the big sums of money available under first, second, and third stimulus. Here's what you need to know, is that Purple Hawks are cleaning up. They're getting 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, $100,000 routinely from this channel under third stimulus. There's no fourth stimulus check coming this week, but there is a lot of third stimulus money for you to get. Lots of it. And the delivery of that information daily shows you how to get that money. It's important to understand that when third stimulus was passed and a $1,400 stimulus became an issue of law, I immediately launched the Purple Hawk, saying, yeah, there's a $1,400 stimulus check, but I can get you a lot more than that from that third stimulus package. I said $14,000 at the time. Now you see the big sums of money people are getting. So become a Purple Hawk today and get that money as well. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. A $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal. Number one, there's a recon. Number two, it's $3.5 trillion. Number three, it's all checks to the American people. And number four, it's the biggest recon we've ever seen with nothing in there for corporations. It's incredible, great news. It's going to be, before we get to the check that comes from IRS that you're frequent and you're familiar with, it's going to be mostly application-based, which means you pick up the phone and ask for the money. Items like dental and vision, IRS can't send you a check because they don't know about your eyes or your teeth. And that's why I showed you that graphic earlier. And I said, pay attention to that graphic. We're going to go back to it later, where we talk about the word committees. Committees are going to be given those sums of money under the recon. And those committees are dedicated the money for you to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want that money. That is how they're going to spend the money. We've been doing this since day one on this channel. It's application-based stimulus. Meaning you pick up the phone and say, hey, I want that money. PBT, SNAP, PPP, PUA, EIDL. We've done this all along. What's an example of how this works? Let me go over some of the proposed items for that fourth stimulus recon starting right now. They're all application-based. They're checks that IRS would never be able to send out because they don't know anything about this with you. Checks for free school meals for all, checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, and checks for seniors of all different types like lowering eligibility age for Medicare, checks for vision, checks for dental, and checks for hearing care. So there you go. Why is this application-based? Simply because IRS would never know to send this money out. You're going to pick up the phone, you're going to call and get this money. Now, if you've picked up the phone and gotten anything under third stimulus, let's use Johnny as an example, you're going to kill it under fourth stimulus. Why? Because there's going to be a lot of different checks for you to get, all wonderful, big, beautiful checks. You're going to pick up the phone and get in different places. Just like Johnny got 7 checks from 7 places, there's going to be a lot of different checks in this Force Stimulus Recon from different committees. All checks for you and all incredible great details. That's how the core of the Force Stimulus Recon works. Number 2, let's go over the details of the monthly stimulus check. The monthly stimulus check, where a check comes from IRS to you on a monthly basis. That's what we call MSC. Well, I have been reporting for months that all these Democrats were talking about a monthly stimulus check. You just saw them, AOC, Omar, House Ways and Means Committee, all those people. But I said, Purple Power, you need to pick up the phone and call your Democratic senator and have them make sure they do it for you. Along the way, while saying that, some of you weren't calling, some of you were calling, but the broadcast media was absolutely not calling. They were never calling any Democratic senators saying, hey, are you doing this? Ask the source, go right to the source. Ask the people who are legislating, are they doing it? They didn't. And so the broadcast media channels that own hundreds of affiliate stations across the country were simply running stories saying, we haven't heard about anything. The reason you haven't heard is you haven't asked. And so a lot of people were in disbelief that there wasn't even a stimulus check from IRS in the Force Stimulus Recon because the broadcast media were doing F in reporting. So what did I tell viewers? Pick up the phone and call. And that's what WR, longtime viewer of this channel did. Picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden, old confidant. Spoke to the staffer at Chris Coons' office. Said, I want to talk to you about that monthly stimulus check. Are you going to do one? Of course Senator Chris Coons is. He's proposing one on the Force Stimulus Recon. Well, hello. So simple it seems, doesn't it? Just pick up the phone and ask. The people who are doing the legislation, is anyone asking them? No. At this point, you need to turn off broadcast media. You need to stop using search engines. And you need to turn off other YouTube channels that simply just don't do anything but repeat nonsense. The source is the people doing the legislation. Pick up the phone and ask them. And none of these other people are doing that breadth of reporting like this channel is. And when in a world exclusive, we're going to go over what the number one guy in D.C. says about these monthly stimulus checks. When we look at the recon, the total name of the recon is Reconciliation Budget Bill, or Forced Stimulus Reconciliation Budget Bill. Notice the keyword budget. What committee in the Senate oversees this bill? The Budget Committee. Yeah, just sort of obvious. The Budget Bill and the Budget Committee. Yeah. And who is head of that Budget Committee? The Budget Chairman. Oh, of course. The Budget Chairman's head of the Budget Committee of the Budget Bill. Yeah, I see this reoccurring theme. Budget, yeah. And who is that Budget Chairman? Bernie Budget Sanders. Yes, Bernie Sanders, Budget Committee, Budget Bill, Budget Bill. I got it. Do you think anyone in the broadcast media picked up the phone and asked him, are you doing Senator Bernie Sanders a monthly stimulus check? No, of course not. They never picked up the phone. Any YouTube channel? No, of course not. No one ever picked up the phone. Well, except this channel. I told viewers last week to pick up the phone and call. No, 2 weeks ago to pick up the phone and call. Why did I say that? Because Bernie Sanders actually said it himself. He said going into the weekend before Labor Day weekend that prior budget chairmen simply just sort of did things in D.C., but I like to get out amongst the people. Translation, he wants to hear from you how to spend the money on the budget bill. He wants to hear your input. So I said, pick up the phone and call. Not a lot of you initially called. Lynn Glenn called, and Brother Joshua, a longtime viewer and 2020 volunteer of this community page, picked up the phone and called. Brother Joshua got his staffer on the phone in Senator Bernie Sanders' D.C. office. Opening question. Will you be doing a monthly stimulus check? Of course, Senator Bernie Sanders is proposing a monthly forced stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. There you go. Done. World exclusive. It took all of 10 seconds of a phone call to simply ask the question. So there you go. In a world exclusive, I'm revealing to you that Senator Bernie Sanders, the number one guy on the Budget Committee, wants to give you a monthly stimulus check. But there's a catch. Let me go over all the details of it right now from that conversation and the catch to it as well. The details are the following, and they're all incredibly great. Number one, monthly, yes. Number two, the average monthly payment, the monthly payment will be somewhere between $1,000 to $1,400, still not decided upon. Yes, great news. And that the term of run will be about 3 to 6 months. Yes, great news. So what's the catch? He needs to have your support. He wants to do it only if he sees the support of the American people. Purple Power, we got this one. He wants to know if he has the support of Purple Power. We got this one. In 2020, it was always the reverse. We as viewers always wondered who in the legislature has our back. Now the legislators want to see who of the Purple Power has his back. We all got his back. Pick up the phone and call. pick up the phone and say, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders, I support you. Thank you so much. Be polite, respectful, and kind, and pick up the phone and call his DC office and say, I support you. Thank you so much. Go to his website and send him a message. Go to his Facebook account, send him a message. Call Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Chris Coons and Ron Wyden. Say the same thing. I support you. Please do it. This is the true spirit of the Purple Power. We got this. We've been doing it since day one. Purple Power was launched by me in 2020 as an expression which came after people were saying, Mr. Purple, because I was wearing a lot of purple shirts outside. So then at one point, when we were doing the EIDL coverage, I said, you can get this stuff approved yourself. You have the power. You have the Purple Power as well. I put that power back on the viewers. But then when we were waiting for a second stimulus check not to come, I said we need to push Purple Power, push, which referred to the notion of pushing legislators to give you stuff that we need. We had a lot of historic moment in this channel where we made history. But the biggest history-making event, of course, was CR for stimulus. When the congressional resolution was coming up in December, the Democrats had failed to get the second stimulus done, the HEROES Act. And I came up with the sole idea on this channel, put a stimulus check in the CR. It was my idea, solely my idea. And I told you to push Purple Power. And we pushed. Get a stimulus check in the CR. They initially said no. They said, I'm crazy. It doesn't belong in there. I said, I know it doesn't belong in there. Who cares? Put it in there. And then they came back and said, unemployment stimulus. We said, no. Stimulus check also. And then they got it. We made history. Now it's your opportunity to make history again. Tell your friends and families that you're making history by getting a stimulus check in there, because the number one guy in D.C. wants you to have a stimulus check. He needs your support. Pick up the phone and call. Make the phone call right today. Let's go over the calculations. The House bill, $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000, is 12 months, $13,000. It takes 12 months to get $13,000. Sanders on the high end is 6 months, $1,400. That's about $9,000. So in 6 months, you would get a whopping $9,000 on the high end from Sanders. But on the House bill, it would take you a full 12 months, an entire year, to get an extra few $1,000s more, $13,000. House of Senate, well, Sanders is taking care of you. And there you go. Thank you for joining me on Morning's Countdown LALATE. It was a hit show this morning. It was a new show debuted in a new time slot. It lands between early mornings LALATE and mornings LALATE, because early mornings LALATE is at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and mornings LALATE is at 9 a.m. A long run, 5 hours. So we put it in right in the middle at 7 o'clock a.m. If there's other time slots that you're looking for a new show or other shows you want, send me a message. And if you've had success stories for rent, utilities, food, or internet, send me a DM as well. I'll feature success stories on this channel as well. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto and Evenings LALATE at 5 o'clock. Sirloin at 8, Street and Simless at 7. And then Overnight's LALATE at 9, and then Purple at 11:30. A lot of shows coming up today as well. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. I want you brother's family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with Ally for more.